You're already up. I'd say wake up, but you guys are already up. For some of us, we never went to bed. Unfreaking believable.
Oh, welcome to Wake Up Indeed. What a wake up it is for 49ers fans here on Friday, October 3rd. What a win on Thursday Night Football. As short stacked as you can walk into a game as you can be. You know, you got backups everywhere. We talked about the JV team reporting for duty. What a win for the JV San Francisco 49ers against the varsity Los Angeles Rams. That was a big, big game. And Larry, I don't know if it's an exaggeration to say that's the biggest 49ers win since the 2023 NFC title game. I think so. That was a monster one. That was a season changing the way you have to go about playing the rest of the year. This was a season altering win for the 49ers. It was very important.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big win. It was a big win. I mean, those are playoff wins. These are regular season wins, but Damon, it was a huge win. It was a huge win for the Niners. It was a huge win for Shanahan. It was a huge win for Mac Jones. It was a huge bounce back game for Kendrick Bourne. I've already apologized on Twitter to Kendrick Bourne. People are like, dude. PWS says Krug's tearing up. No, actually, I just put in some eye drops because
he's very emotional this morning.
Yeah, it's very emotional moment.
Look, last week, or no, not even last week. It was Monday, Larry. We started and we were all upset about how the Jacksonville game unfolded. And I said, do you want to go the glass half full or the glass half empty? You're like, I don't want to have any glass half full on this team right now. You were angry. And then we kind of filled up the glass. Now you're just filling up the glass with tears of victory. That's a beautiful thing. Look at how full the glass is with Larry's tears of victory. I tell you, your glass should be half full. It really should be. They just beat a team that put 456 total yards up against them with a really good defense on the road with a whole bunch of backups playing everywhere. I mean, that was not a game the 49ers were supposed to look good in, much less win in overtime. And football's funny, man. You know, when you're sure something is about to happen, look out for that other thing actually happening. They're undefeated in their division and in their conference. And, I mean, all things considered, I think the 49ers might officially now be off to one of the best starts in the entire NFL, even factoring in the injuries. I mean, with the record of 4-1, how do you say anyone's having a better start to the year under circumstances than the 49ers are having?
It's an incredible start. It's an incredible game. It was an incredible game. Look at this. Look at this crowd, by the way. This is the crowd at SoFi. Look at that.
Look at that. I'm telling you, man.
And that is all red, man. Look at that. That is just so. You know what? I think, Damon, before we credit one Niner, before we credit Shanahan, before we credit Lynch, I think we got to sit there and just give a little bit of a golf clap to the faithful, because that was an awesome performance to go on the road, a sea of red. Whose house? Niners house.
It's
Niners house. Look at this. The sea of red. Whose house? Niners house. Matthew Aketa.
It is, it's Candlestick South. It really is, man. There is something about 49ers fans taking over opposing stadiums that is not happening on one or two road games a year. It's happening every single time the 49ers play football. Every time they play a football game, their fans are taking over stadia in ways that, I mean, I don't really remember it happening professionally. You know, Eagles fans used to come in and invade Candlestick, and I'd be like, damn, there's a lot of green in here today. You know, but that was about it. You know, Steelers fans had a reputation to really travel very, very well. Cowboys fans, obviously, but there's nothing like red invasions that 49ers fans bring to your stadium. It's something else, man.
We have to play a couple of the reactions.
Okay, let's do it.
A couple of the reactions that I thought were priceless that we have to share with the audience this morning. Here is the first one from our good buddy Brian Baldinger, and anytime you play a little Baldy, he's great. But this
Baldy.
one's really good because Baldy's a trench guy.
Yeah.
He's an offensive lineman, so he's great when he's talking lineman. And I think he might have called Alfred Williams here, but who cares? Here's Baldy.
The Rams had 1st and goal at the 3 last night with 1 minute and 7 seconds to go. Number 95 for the 49ers is rookie Alfred Collins from the University of Texas. Rams going in. It's 23-20. Kyron Williams is going to take this ball. Alfred Williams splits this double team, and he takes that big right paw, and he punches the ball out. And he takes the ball away from Kyron Williams right there inside the 1-yard line to secure the victory right there, to secure the victory. He comes out of this pile, and here he comes. He's got the ball. He's got the goods. He's got the receipt right there in his hands. But it wasn't over. No, it wasn't over. It became 26-23. It was 4th and 1. Rams going for the win. There's Alfred Collins. There's Mykel Williams right there. The 1st and 2nd round picks of the 49ers, the future. And they take the Rams and they bubble them right here. And there goes Kyron Williams, stopped by the rookies. Alfred, Michael, Marcus, right there, Fred. They're all there. And the 49ers, they come out victorious. It's the agony and it's the ecstasy right there.
I love it. I love Baldy.
And the ecstasy. What a game. 49ers come out on top.
He's such a true believer, man. He's such a true believer.
How great is Baldy? Seriously, if I could watch Baldy like on a loop, just like doing his thing, talking about my team. And me when the draft prospects, when he's getting into the draft prospects, oh my God, Dave.
I get excited when he's like, look at the hands, look at these heavy hands, and look at the way that they fight inside a phone booth. And he's
a two-gapper. This guy's a two-gapper. So there's that one.
Larry, before you even go on to the next one, Alfred Collins in one play has already had a better career than Javon Kinlaw. What a play for Alfred Collins. What a moment. I know that he was behind the 8 ball due to injuries and not being able to take part in training camp. He feels like he is getting up to speed. And in the way we've seen these rookie linemen take steps forward, we've seen a Mykel Williams game take a step forward. We're still waiting for that CJ West step forward game. It's coming eventually, I think. Alfred Collins had his step forward game. That was huge, an absolutely huge game. And on that game-winning tackle, by the way, on 4th. And by the way, McVay, huge nuts. You were so right to go for it. Wrong play, but I love the mindset that made you run that play on 4th down. I respect McVay an awful lot. Fred Warner was the first guy to that tackle. Fred Warner, man, heat-seeking missile, defensive player.
I thought Chase Lucas was also amazing on that last play. I mean, he filled in, he stuck his head in there, and it's like, dude, sometimes you just got to stick your head in there and hope that your partners rally behind you. And sure enough, they did. 2 other reactions, though. I think I've got to play here. One is, I think, a really good reaction from our good friend here, John Middlecoff. Middlecoff had a great reaction. Listen to Middlecoff quickly here. We'll play this one real quick. Just 30 seconds here of Middlecoff. Here he is. Let's see, move that back. Here we go.
That is one of the grittiest, toughest, most badass performances I can ever remember. Mac Jones, to me, has already had a legendary, and let me repeat, legendary run as a backup quarterback for the 49ers. He has 3 freaking wins, and it's October 2nd. Their DBs blow, and Mac Jones annihilated them all night long. But here's the thing. Mac Jones had a knee he thought was going to fall off. There was one point in time tonight, I'm not kidding, is Mac Jones going to die? That might sound hyperbolic. By the end of the game, he's limping off. It looks like he's got like a torn ACL maybe, and he's throwing up all over himself. Like, this is insane. The Niners have guys dropping like flies more than anything I've ever seen. And for Mac Jones to win this game with the mash unit of Christian McCaffrey had 22 carries for 57 yards. I honestly cannot believe the 49ers won this game.
I tell you, so he's right about that. And seriously, Mac Jones was nearly knocked out of his uniform last night. It was like dripping off of him. He was being held up walking to the sidelines. I don't know if we take things that were on the sideline of great games and send them to Canton, but can we find the banana peel that Mac Jones was eating that banana last night? Can we send that banana peel to Canton along with Mac Jones's helmet and jersey from that game? What a game he had. That was a tough, gutsy performance. And look, I don't want to turn this into a referendum on the quarterbacking situation. I don't want to turn this into Mac Jones versus Brock Purdy, which everybody in the world is trying to do today. Let's talk about a quarterback controversy, blah, 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 blah. How in God's name was Kyle Shanahan convinced to trade Trey Lance over Mac Jones in that draft? How did that happen? Mac Jones seems perfect for Kyle's offense. How did he think, nah, I'm going to go with Trey Lance over Mac Jones? How
there were a lot of elements there, Damon. I mean, we could go back and talk about it, but there were a lot of things going on at that point in history.
Every single instinct that led him to Trey Lance was wrong. He started thinking about the things he's never had at a quarterback, not the things he needs. If he just,
think about it this way.
He would have drafted Trey Lance. He would have drafted Mac Jones. He was chasing the ghost of Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, Damon, here's the thing. We don't know. You don't know. I don't know. Nobody really knows exactly. God, oh my God. KTVU is doing a poll. Which quarterback should start, Jones or Purdy? 56% Jones, 44% Purdy. Oh my God, it's on.
Yeah.
When KTVU, when Sal Castaneda is putting out poll questions, who should start at quarterback, it's officially on.
Look, Larry, I remember talking to Ralph back in the day, and he used to tell me, he'd be like, Damon, all I had to do was say Joe or Steve, 808 KMBR, and the entire show would be done for me by the audience. Joe or Steve, 808 KMBR, and then the show was over.
It's true. But you know what? Here's the thing about this that's so interesting. Let's just say, okay, because it is a very interesting thing. 2021 draft, Niners traded up. They could have taken Mac Jones. They didn't. There were people like Michael Lombardi and others who were Phil Sims' son, Chris Sims, people that were screaming at the top of their lungs that Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. Okay, let's just say, for the sake of the argument, that those guys were
who
right.
else was really screaming that? Somebody who's inside the building who does hear things and know things, Greg Papa. And clearly,
let's say they were all right. Say they were all right. Okay. All these people were right. Kyle wanted this guy. Somehow, even though he's the biggest figure in the organization, somebody convinced the head coach not to go with Mac Jones. Okay. I'm not saying this happened. I'm just saying, let's just speculate. Okay. Let's just assume that's the case. Kyle wanted Mac. Somebody else said, hey, no, we can't go with Mac. We got to go with Trey. Kyle relents, goes with Trey. Leads us down this whole path. Trey year one, Trey year two, Trey with the injuries. Then here comes Purdy. Now you've got, the whole thing runs its course. Now you got Mac Jones back in the building. If what was reported was true, Damon, that Kyle was all in on Mac Jones, then what do you think is going through Kyle's mind right now, as he's still the coach of the team, and probably the people that wanted Trey Lance, if it wasn't him, are also still in the organization. And yet here is Kyle trying now to win with Mac Jones. I mean, do you think there's a chance, if Kyle really was all in on Mac Jones, that he is just absolutely in like his career moment right now, where he is just going to design the best game plans of all time? I mean, if I was Kyle Shanahan, and internally among all of us football brains, I was the guy saying Mac Jones, and I said, no, Jed and his underlings convinced me to go with Trey Lance, let's just say. If I now had Mac Jones, I would be like, see, guys, see? And the only way you can really say see is if he has a huge performance and it's hand-to-glove kind of a fit. But that's what we're now seeing. Hand-to-glove fit, and Mac Jones looking like maybe the best quarterback from the 2021 draft. Now, granted, it's early. And he's only 3-0 with the Niners, but he's tier 5 in the NFL. I'm just thinking to myself, Damon, if that was true, that Kyle was all in on Mac, then he's right now could be in a gigantic told you so mode You know what I mean? He could
maybe
now in a
maybe just
gigantic, like, I'm going to make this guy look amazing because I was the guy who was banging the table for this guy. And if they had just listened to me back then, we might have won this Super Bowl by now.
Larry, are you talking about spite wins? Is that what we're getting? Or we're getting?
No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying
I'll take it.
All I'm saying, Damon, is if you play this thing out, and if the Mike Lombardis were right, then Kyle Shanahan is probably not just coaching this team, and he's probably super, super invested in Mac Jones's performance.
You know, though,
he was the guy banging the table, if that were true.
So there are two things about Kyle in the past 7 days that really, really pissed me off about Kyle. One of them was from last night, and one of them was the decision to go back to Purdy as quickly as he did. And then Purdy re-aggravates the turf toe. And after you said, Larry, your own eyes told you Purdy's off in practice, everything is high all week. You were proven right by the game. The 49ers would probably be undefeated right now had they gone with Mac Jones against Jacksonville. And I don't think that that is a huge leap of faith to take the way that Mac is playing right now. Now you could say, well, Mac's knee wouldn't have let him play like that. I don't know. But it's a shame that that Jacksonville game turned into a throwaway moment, which re-injured Purdy. But you got Mac Jones. And look, I think that having the beauty of being able to run your system with either guy is a luxury that should just be viewed as a luxury in the moment and shouldn't be viewed as a controversy. But that's not the way media works. So we all know it's coming. But the situation that the Niners are in now at quarterback is a really good situation. I'm not going to let the concept of either one of these guys could do it ruin what is a good, healthy quarterback room. And everyone seems to get along, and there doesn't seem to be a problem, and there doesn't seem to be anger internally or the team having some tug of war for the soul of the team who should be playing. None of that is happening. None of that is happening. As a matter of fact, Larry, I want to take it a step further, if you don't mind, because what I'm seeing, and I've been thinking this for years, and I've been kind of saying it for years, and I want to say it implicitly now. No matter what you think of Kyle Shanahan because he hasn't won a Super Bowl, the fact is this guy is 350 to 400 yards of offense just rolling out of bed. I don't care who's fucking playing today. I don't care who's starting at quarterback. I don't care who's playing at wide receiver. The 49ers get about 400-ish yards of offense every single game that they play, which means Kyle's good at this. He can draw it up with backups and anybody, everywhere. There's always the requisite amount of offense that you need out of a football team, no matter who is playing. The question is, did you punch it in from inside the 5? And when the answer has been yes, the Niners go to Super Bowls. And when the answer is no, they miss the playoffs. It's time to invest in the offensive line, and it's time to get great on the line of scrimmage, because that is the separating factor. If the 49ers had a great offensive line, I would love them to go to the Super Bowl this year. If the 49ers had a better offensive line in the Super Bowl, they would have won the Super Bowl that year. The 49ers need a better offensive line than what they have. It is... You know how hard it is to be 4-1 with backups everywhere and no running attack? I mean, they got no ground game. They got backups everywhere, and they're 4-1. Imagine if they had an offensive line. Imagine if they had, earth movers up front for Christian McCaffrey. And Christian McCaffrey, by the way, isn't doing much with the football. He should be getting MVP consideration. Who is more valuable to a winning formula in football for their team than Christian McCaffrey is to the 49ers? Who is more valuable on game day? Maybe Josh Allen to the Bills. You could make that argument. Outside of Christian McCaffrey, who's more valuable?
Right now he's looking great.
1-4 or 0-5 without Christian McCaffrey.
Dove Kleiman says Kyle Shanahan is truly one of a kind. Very few coaches can achieve a dominant win. I don't know if it was a dominant win, but despite numerous injuries, he said the best coach in the NFL. Brock Purdy's out. Ricky Pearsall's out. Brandon Ayuk out. Juwan Jennings out. Ben Barch out. George Kittle out. Nick Bosa out for the year. And the Niners just beat the Rams in LA. It's funny. One of my sponsors called me yesterday right before the game and said, Krug, all right, let me know what's going to happen here. The Niners have a shot. And I said, they absolutely have a shot.
Yeah.
And I bet the Niners last night. Now I teased it to the under, and it did cash, luckily. I mean, it was really close, But it cashed, and the part that cashed easy was the Niners plus 15, because that's what I got on the teaser. That was just money. I just knew that was going to cut.
Larry, can I talk about my stupid mistake last night?
Yeah.
So I had a 3-team parlay, or a three-leg parlay. I had Stafford over 233.5. That hit. Mac Jones over 217.5. That hit. Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. That hit. But I tacked on one more because I thought tonight's the night he's going to get used. On a short week, we're going to get 25 rushing yards out of Brian Robinson. And I took the over on Brian Robinson, and I sunk my 4-leg parlay by thinking tonight of all nights, Shanahan will use another running back. No, I gotta remember who Kyle Shanahan is. Kyle Shanahan hates the other running back that isn't Christian McCaffrey. I forgot.
So this was on Sleeper?
Yeah.
So
I blew my 4-leg parlay with a dumb bet that goes against everything I know about Kyle Shanahan. I'm an idiot.
Kevin and I hit our sleeper yesterday. Our sleeper was Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown, Puka over the receptions. I think he just barely went over. Tutu Atwell over the yardage. It was 9, if you can believe it. 9 yards for Tutu Atwell. That was a gimme. And then we had one other. Who was the other? But we went 5 for 5 and had a big win. We made a big winner. We've absolutely dominated on Sleeper. In fact, this would be a good time for me to say 49er football season is presented by Sleeper on the Krug Show, fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply.
And Larry, since we're talking about Sleeper, did you see what Mac Jones said? That Kyle was pissed about the point spread moving as much as it did.
I wonder if that's a good quote or not. You know what I mean? It's like coaches generally don't comment on the spread.
No,
but
that
was interesting though.
This would have been a controversial statement a decade ago. Now it's, make sure you click on that promo on DraftKings. You know what I mean?
Right. So, I mean, there's a gambling kiosk at Wrigley Field for crying out loud.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a betting parlor behind the dugout. I think we're through the looking glass here, people.
But anyway, no, check out Sleeper though. It's a ton of fun. Yeah. Damon's part of it. I'm part of it. Our code on our side is use promo code Larry. Lots from the people over at Sleeper who called me this week. Lots and lots and lots of Krug Show watchers signed up for Sleeper. So thanks to all you guys. Way to go. And if you're winning like Kev and I are winning, hey, congrats.
Larry, you know where Sleeper's headquarters are?
Where?
Downtown San Francisco. We should go say hi to them one day.
I was going to say, it's based on the way it's going. They may move it over here to Walnut Creek.
Hold on, Larry. So Mac Jones says, I really don't pay much attention to it, was the quote. I really don't do social media that much, but Kyle came up to me and said that he was pissed about it. The line moved from 3 to 8.5 when all those injuries got announced. He's like, dude, I can't believe they moved us to underdogs again or more. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but yeah, let's go kill him. And he was pissed about it. He's like, yeah, I'm pissed too.
That's a good answer too by Mac. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah,
I mean, do we really believe in 2025 that Mac Jones, as smart as he is, doesn't know what the spread moving means? Come on, bro.
He just played at Alabama. They don't know much about serious football down there.
yeah. He's not used to the pros. But
by the way, Larry, both of my kids think Kendrick Bourne is Jerry Rice this morning.
Oh,
how about Kendrick Bourne? And you stomped on him a little bit, right? He was not good last weekend. Yesterday, he was Jerry Rice. 10 catches, a career high, 142 receiving yards for Kendrick Bourne. He was right in the middle of moving the sticks in every big moment of that game when they needed to move the sticks. He was third and one. It was Kendrick Bourne. It was third and Bourne.
He stepped up. He absolutely
stepped up. He did.
I tweeted out an apology. I said I owe Bourne Poly 11. That's his. I attached him there. A major apology. I said he was washed and should retire, and then he goes off last night and helps lead the 49ers to victory. Kendrick, you are definitely not washed up, my friend. And then I said I may need to bring back my closing line from my old radio show. Larry Krueger, often wrong, seldom in doubt. But yes, Kendrick Bourne proved me wrong last night.
Well, here's the thing.
He looked so bad
literally-
against Jacksonville and so good last night. I think it's safe to say that Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne have a nice little thing going.
10 catches, a career high 142 yards, and he's got the stunner shades and the maroon suit in the press conference. I mean, he was ready for his close-up.
Oh, it was a terrible suit. Oh, my God, dude.
What was
That
Mac
suit.
Jones wearing? Mac Jones was wearing like a look at that thing.
Yeah, so here's Mac Jones, by the way. This, to me, was the line of the night. Okay,
He
here's
looked
Mac
like a red
Jones.
velvet cupcake.
I mean, this is an awful suit. And Mac, come on, bro. Get rid of some of these suits. But if you play like that, you can wear whatever the hell you want.
Did he get
Here
that
was the
at
line of
game?
the night, though. This was the line of the night. I mean, Mac Jones spent much of the night dodging Rams defenders, but this was the greatest dodge of the night by Mac Jones. Listen to this.
Before the game, there was a report that Brock could be out a few more games. Do you feel like the starting job, you're the starter now, and that's just the way you have to view it?
I think, they brought me here to play as a backup, and that's my job. And Brock's the starter of this team, and right now he's dealing with something. And for him to go out there last week and play when he probably wasn't at full health, like he cares about this team. So I'm just trying to get some wins for him so it helps us down the line. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Like, I've been in his position, I've been a starter, and you want your backup to go in there and win, because at the end of the season, that could be the hit or miss between a playoff or not. So
That is what they call, folks, mental maturity.
That's a professional answer from a professional quarterback. That's a guy who, again, he just said it. I've been in his situation, and I know what it's like to be, hurt and have a backup playing, and you know your role.
That's the opposite of the Shador Sanders. You saw that whole thing? Did you see that?
A little bit of a different situation. I'll give Shador. I actually think
I'm not giving Shador a break on that. I mean, come on, bro. You're a pro. Act like a pro.
Yeah.
That's how a pro acts right there.
He
doesn't get baited in by the media. He knows.
Well, and
he said exactly what he should have said right there.
Larry, if you are another NFL team thinking about signing Mac Jones and you see that press conference and you were on the fence, now you're signing him. You know what I mean? That is a franchise quarterback answer.
So you want this guy to be, it's a great point by you, Damon, because really it's not another position on the team. When you're the franchise quarterback, you're auditioning to be the leader, the quarterback, and the face of the franchise publicly. And so these quotes matter. And Dave Johnson's never been more wrong in his life. He said, nobody is signing Mac Jones. Well, nobody's signing Mac Jones because he's signed up already.
He's
with
under
the
contract
49ers for the next 2 years. But if Mac Jones were a free agent this morning, yes, he would be signed. Yes, there would be a bidding war for Mac Jones this morning. If all of a sudden, if some of these teams that have bad quarterback situations would take Mac Jones in a freaking heartbeat, absolute heartbeat. And I'll say this, if he plays the rest of this schedule, or the rest of the games that he plays, the way he played last night, the 49ers are going to have a very, very tough decision on their hands. Do they stay with their really cheap, great backup quarterback, Mac Jones, in 2026, or do they trade him for a second-round draft choice? Because it's trending towards that's what they're going to get.
What I would have liked to have seen done was them take those draft picks, which totally got burned on non-factors like Jordan Watkins and Jordan James, and have traded up for Armand Membu and gone to the Super Bowl this year. That would have been nice.
Yeah, Membu to this point has been the highest graded offensive lineman. Of course, he didn't fall to the Niners, but yeah, what a blue chipper he is.
That
a great
was
player for the next decade.
Yeah, it was screaming.
The Niners need an offensive line. Oh my God!
By the way, Trent Williams is getting old in front of our eyes, Larry.
Well, you know what? I'm not upset about it. I mean, it's like, you know what? It's just, it happens. It's life.
Yep,
People get older. People get worse. Nothing lasts forever. Trent's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest. And it's just the way it is.
All right.
So.
Can everybody's happy? We're all in a good mood, right? You should be. I mean, you have to be a very happy 49ers fan. Can I lodge my Kyle? What are you thinking?
Sure.
Can I? Because Kyle made a decision last night that almost started making me root against the 49ers to win that game. I cannot believe he didn't go for it on 3rd and 8 with the game on the line. No, excuse me. He ran a running back draw into the back of Jake Brendel from his own goal line when he needed 8 yards to go into victory formation. The game is over. That game was put back in the balance of the Rams are going to send this to overtime because Kyle wouldn't run a pass play. When you're throwing the ball around the field all night long and he doesn't run a play that is intended to pick up 8 yards on 3rd and ball game. I mean, that was it. A first down here.
They were, now, granted, in fairness,
formation.
they're snapping the ball on their own too. But I hear you.
I thought
they could have ended. I mean, you have a young defense. You're supposed to be protecting your defense. You have an offense. You can win the game on offense as well. It's like,
look,
why can you? I mean, I didn't like the nature. I mean, I understand the first one, quarterback sneak. You're on the one. You can't get the 2-point safety there. Kills you. You absolutely kills you. It's the most crushing thing of all time. You lose, and you're giving them the safety.
Well, you would have been up by
giving them the ball
with
back
a chance
too.
to give them a field goal to win.
Somebody was like, should they have taken a safety? No, they should not have taken a safety.
No, you need that first down, and then you take the victory formation.
They needed the first down, and what they did was $3 into the line. That's really what it was. It was a quarterback sneak, and then a CMC, and then a CMC just lay down, and then they punted. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm with you on this one as far as I'm not saying take risks backed up inside your phone 5. But something that resembles you're trying to get the first down, something that has a chance of getting the first down. You can't run any kind of quarterback sprint out type throw, nothing, no timing route, no stop route, nothing. It's like watching Stafford and Puka. The one thing that's really clear is that Stafford and Puka are really on the same page. And you could have the greatest defensive game plan of all time, a killer pass rush, and Dion blanketing him. And yet Stafford is still going to connect with Puka because they're absolutely on the same page. And it's like, God, you can't. I know there was no Pearsall and no Jennings, and they're kind of like your go route, or they're kind of your go-to guys, in a close moment like that. But I mean, come on. You don't run any plays there at all,
Larry, when
that even have a chance, and then you give the ball back to the Rams with what was it left? Let me see what the Rams. I had it written down here. In my notes.
What did it, Larry? It all comes down to this.
It was 48 seconds. They had 48 seconds left, or 42 seconds left when they gave them the ball. Their first play was on the 50. It was 1st and 10 from the 50. So they were on the 50-yard line. They only, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Look, Kyle was going for it on 4th down. The Niners were 3 for 3 on 4th down last night. He was aggressive. He was absolutely in his bag. It was a great opening drive. That second scoring drive, Larry, is one of their best drives in years. That second scoring drive was a 17-play, time-sucking, touchdown-scoring masterpiece that went 91 yards and is the most plays run by the Niners in a drive that resulted in a touchdown since 2021. I mean, it was an awesome second scoring drive that they had in that game. Kyle was really on it early, and he was really on it throughout this game. And then he gets the moment to pull the trigger on a kill shot, and he holsters the pistol.
Well, you don't have any stop route, any timing route, anything that you feel like you can go to. Damon, it wasn't that they didn't get the first, is that they didn't really try.
That's the thing. It was an uncompetitive down.
It was an uncompetitive series.
It was an uncompetitive series, but that third and look, you got to run some.
Don't leave it for third down. Even you don't have to leave it for third down. I mean, you could have done a little bootleg rollout on one of those plays. You could have done a number of things that potentially could have. I mean, Mac Jones was throwing lasers. Him and Kendrick Bourne. You tell me that Mac Jones couldn't have hit Kendrick Bourne for a 7-yard stop route,
like a slant, go forward. Yeah, I mean, it was there.
If he doesn't have it, throw it away, right?
I thought,
but
thought
no, he won the clock to run, right? He won them to burn the timeouts.
it was a really great, it was a great 59 minutes for Kyle. Then he really clammed up there in the final minute of regulation. And that's part and parcel why it went to overtime. Thank God Eddie Pinheiro decided to scrape that upright.
Well, there's another thing here, Damon.
Eddie.
Eddie was amazing.
Come on.
Eddie was amazing. How about the 59-yarder? That would have been good from 65. But you know what? I'll still say this. The key factor in this game was that the Niners dominated the time of possession, because the reality is that Alfred Collins is a big-bodied guy.
Yeah.
Alfred Collins would not have been, fresh enough if this game had been the Rams held the ball for 40 minutes. Instead, the Niners held the ball for 40 minutes. And so you had a relatively fresh rookie defensive tackle in the fourth quarter ready to make a play. The Niners have to do, Shanahan said it in the halftime interview with whatever her name is from Amazon, Kaylee Hartsung or whatever. He's like, what did you guys do to slow them down? He's like, I think more than anything, we just played keep away. Because the Rams in the first half only had 3 possessions, and they scored a touchdown on one of them, and they looked really good doing it. And then the Niners had like a broken play for the touchdown. So I just think that, there's no question about it that the Niners, without, with this young defense, with no Bosa, they have to figure out their run game, because if the only way they're going to be able to play ball control, Damon, is if they can run the ball. If they can't run the ball, it's going to be really hard to play ball control. If you can't play ball control, it's going to be really hard to play complementary football. If you can't play complementary football, it's going to be really hard to win, because you have a very young defense that needs to be protected. So they got to get this run game, to me, Damon, I think is the key to everything. I don't know what changes they need to make on the offensive line. I don't know what changes Shanahan needs to make or the running backs need to make or whatever, but they've got to find a way to run the ball more effectively. What happened in last night's game was absolutely criminal. You cannot run the ball. The Niners ran 33 times for 74 yards. 2 a carry is running into a wall, and you cannot do that. They won a game on the road against a really good team that was far healthier, running 2.2 per carry.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's kind of unsustainable. It really is.
It is.
Christian McCaffrey's, this is from Josh Dubow last night. Christian McCaffrey's got a 3.1 yards per carry this season, the fewest for a 49ers running back through 5 games with 50 or more attempts since Glenn Coffey had 2.6 back in 2009. So,
wow.
This
That's
is
a blast from the past.
This is Christian McCaffrey taking on a workload, just trying to keep teams honest by, presenting the concept of a carry. So you got to respect the running game, because he's still going to be throwing it at you, even though it's not really generating any yards. It's Shanahan seeking balance there. I think it did set up a couple play actions last night that they took advantage of.
He gave up on it, though. I agree with Daniel here. In the fourth and OT, he's just like, screw it.
Well, you have. Here's the thing: it's not working at that point in the game, and you got other things that are working, so you might as well go with what's working.
Yeah.
Totally. I will say this though: Christian McCaffrey's paltry rushing yards, I still think he should be in the MVP conversation. He's certainly the MVP of the 49ers. This guy's 100 yards of total offense from scrimmage every single time he plays. When you add it all up, receiving and ground game, he's got 100 scrimmage yards. He's got more 100 scrimmage yards games than any other active running back in the NFL. That includes Derrick Henry. Thursday Night Football, by the way, was the 100th game of Christian McCaffrey's career. In 100 games, he's got 11,383 yards from scrimmage, one of 6 players in NFL history to start a career like that. One of 6 players in NFL history to have 11,000 or more total yards and 80 or more touchdowns through 100 career games. The list is Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson, Emmitt Smith, Eric Dickerson, Jim Brown. That's a good list for any running back to be on.
No doubt. No doubt about that. I mean, Yeah, I mean, big moment. 11,000 or more yards from scrimmage, 80 or more touchdowns through the first 100 career games in NFL history. That list: Jim Brown, Eric Dickerson, Emmitt Smith, LaDainian Tomlinson, Adrian Peterson, and now Christian McCaffrey. I mean,
Not bad. Not bad.
That's
company.
a list, man. That is a list right there. And then I don't know if you saw the picture of him in the post game. He's holding his baby girl, and it's like there's one you don't want to fumble. You know,
Don't drop that one.
And it's like, you got to be happy for these guys. I mean, it's like, it's like they're living their dream. They're playing the sport they're great at, and they're, starting new families. And
I don't know. There's something
exciting
adorable.
times.
There's something adorable about a football player in pads holding like a newborn baby.
Yeah,
I don't know why that appeals to me.
Well, I'll say there's a lot of good dudes in that room for sure. And, this every year's a little different, but man, what a unifying win. I mean, it's amazing how the wins and losses define an NFL season. If that had been a loss last night, now the Niners are, they've lost 2 in a row, and people are getting nervous, and you still got kind of this quarterback question hanging over. Is Brock the guy, and who's healthy, and that, and then instead, Mac Jones steps in, plays incredibly well. They're 4-1. They've won road games with 2 different quarterbacks. They have 2 quarterbacks now that they can win with. And it really changes the whole dynamic on the Purdy thing. It's like, let Purdy rest. Let him get healthy. I mean, it's pretty obvious that turf toe thing is not good. And I don't know what the solution is, actually, by the way, because
and not
anytime he plays, he's going to recur. It's going to be recurring, right?
Look, there are enough days of the year to have what I don't like about the Niners show. Today doesn't feel like one of those days because they won, right? But their inability to properly evaluate injuries inside their own locker room is a problem. And rushing Brock back again, you say might need 6 weeks, but he's out there the Monday after the Saints game practicing.
I don't know if they rushed him back, man. I think he rushed himself back, Damon.
Well, again, so you don't let the player make those decisions. You just say, hey, Brock, we're taking your helmet today. You're not limited in practice. You're not practicing. Your turf toe needs rest more than you need reps.
Wait, well, timeout then. Timeout. I agree, by the way. All right. Let's just say, let's talk about this real frankly and openly here. Why not? No time like the present. Purdy's got the contract. He also has the turf toe. Anytime he plays, he's going to exacerbate that turf toe. He's not quite the same player that he was because the turf toe is impacting accuracy and mobility. Then you got Mac, and he's playing really well. And then behind him, you don't have anybody. You have Adrian Martinez, but he's really raw. And, I don't know what he's going to be able to do. He was just in the UFL. What do you do, Damon? What do you do? Do you do what they're doing and just week to week it and go with Mac? Oh, Brock wants to play. Brock's feeling good. Brock's always going to want to play. And then if I'm Brock's agent, if I'm Kyle Strongin, it's like, what about Brock's? I guess I'd have to know a couple things. Is it possible that Brock could have long-term toe and career shortening ramifications if he plays on this thing? What is he risking by playing? If he's risking nothing, then that's one thing. If he's risking something, then maybe with the sizable investment and with Mac playing well, they ought to shut Purdy down, end his season, let him have the surgery right now on the toe that he's going to need, if that's indeed the case, and go find some veteran quarterback off the scrap heap who you could, throw behind Mac Jones as your backup and just go forward the rest of the year and tell Brock, you know what, get healthy, get the surgery, get healthy.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't know. I don't know the answer, but like, what is turf toe? Because Patrick Willis did retire. Is it possible that Brock could hurt it so bad that it would be career altering? And if that's the case, man, they better not let him out there. They better sit him down.
Doesn't it feel like Mac Jones is right at the tipping point of an injury himself?
He might be hurt now.
I mean, let's find out.
We might get an announcement today that he's hurt.
Seriously, if they said today he's out 2 to 3 weeks, I wouldn't be surprised based on the way he was limping around that field last night. So this is hardly a resolved situation.
What would you do? I mean, would you go get another quarterback and put Mac out or put Brock out for the year? Because it doesn't sound like it's going to get better until it's like either he has months and months and months of healing or some kind of surgical remedy. I don't know. I would hate to see Brock Purdy force, because of the contract and the pressure, just get out there when he shouldn't and then have his career arc altered because of a toe injury that he got that he couldn't ever shake. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but these toe things are pretty serious.
To me, the contract buys him the time to get this right. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to worry about who you are or what your status is on this team. The contract says who you are. Who you are is this team's starting quarterback. So what you got to do is just get healthy. And you're no good to us until you're all the way back healthy. We don't need 88% of Brock Purdy. We need 100% of Brock Purdy. When you're ready to be 100% of Brock Purdy, then we'll go back to you. That's how it kind of works. In the meantime, you got this, fountain of good headlines and good feelings around Mac Jones. Hopefully you can continue to get water from that fountain. Like you said, Adrian Martinez, get in your playbook, kid. You're one hit away from playing for the 49ers. Tanner Mordecai, maybe keep that cell phone in your pocket because that might ring. Nate Sudfeld, go ahead, keep that cell phone close. That might ring. Yeah, I think the 49ers need to bring, they got to address what could be a depth issue there too. Luckily, they got a lot of practice doing this because it seems like there's a depth issue just about everywhere. Let me come back here with like the nice little bow. So all these guys who are deep in the depth chart, playing pretty well right now, getting seasoned, getting reps, getting in footage and putting stuff on tape that they normally wouldn't have had the chance to do. This is all good. I think you found a little something, hopefully in Bourne, a little something in Tongass. Sky Moore seems to be getting a little bit better by the week. Hey, what if when like Kittle's back and Ayuk's back and Juwan Jennings is back and Ricky Pearsall's back, all of a sudden what seemed like we got depth issues is an abundance of depth.
Damon, it could be next week except for Ayuk.
Yeah.
All those guys they say could be back next week.
Yeah.
In week 6 against
Malik
Tampa.
Mustafa could be back next week. I mean, this is
a week after they're thinking maybe for him.
All right. Well, here's the thing. The Niners, as banged up as they are going to get hopefully healthier as the year goes along. They have also, thanks to this fine start, bought themselves a cushion. They bought themselves a misstep later on in the year because they've got the cushion to do that. They're actually in the weirdest, dumbest, goofiest way possible, well-positioned for the rest of this year as we talk about quarterback injuries. It's really weird. It's really weird. The Niners are occupying a space that football teams are usually not allowed to occupy, but they're in it. They're in it right now. It's kind of amazing. It really is. There's a part of me.
It is. It was an amazing game, man. It was an amazing game.
It was one of the more memorable 49er games of the last handful of regular seasons. Like, I'll remember that Thursday nighter for a while. I will. I'll remember this one for a while. By the way.
Yeah, you can't say Thursday nights are all dogs because that was not a dog. That was a terrific game. I mean, let me ask you this.
By the way,
was it a terrific game or was it just that we're Niner fans? And
I think was
the nation entertained?
I think a Minnesota Vikings fan sitting in freaking St. Paul last night watched every minute of that game and go, that was a good game. I mean, I don't think you needed to root for either of those teams to be like, yeah, man, Thursday night football, you delivered. Nice job. That was a fun game. I think everybody enjoyed that one. I'll say this, the Niners, and maybe this is evidence of good coaching because we all know how hard that quick turnaround is in this league. This is the 5th win on Thursday Night Football since 2002 for the 49ers. That ties the Bills for the most wins on Thursday Night Football over that span. The Niners, by the way, have now won 7 of 9 at SoFi Stadium. The last time the Niners were 3-0 in the NFC West, they went to the Super Bowl. Shanahan is now 11-6 against the LA Rams. There's some pretty good data points coming out of that game. There really, really are. But But what it buys the Niners, the Niners now have a chance to have that didn't go well, fuck it up game, and it won't hurt them greatly. They bought
the division games mean more, and they're 3-0 in the division. And they've won on the road in Seattle and on the road in LA. So, they're in a good spot. They're in a good spot.
By the way, having said all of it, the Niners lose last night if their special teams isn't bailed out by a quick whistle. I don't think we're going to see Isaac Guerrero play football again for the 49ers. Did they leave him in LA last night? Yeah, I think it's coming, Larry.
I mean, come on, man. It's like you're not, it's.
And that's just yet another hand-picked draft pick that is meaningless to the overall equation.
No feel. No feel at all there. No feel at all.
If that's not a quick whistle, Larry, that's Rams ball. That's a Niners loss, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's a terrible fumble. And since his fumble ratio to touch ratio is horrible.
It's like 1-to-1.
Yeah. I mean, it's
not
like,
a very good ratio.
You can't, it's just, and you know what? Here's the thing. If I was Kyle Shanahan, I would have a game where I throw him a few passes, wait for him to bust like an 80-yarder, and then shop him. Wait for him to have that one day where people are like, this guy, and then shop him.
Larry, he hasn't had a play.
He
hasn't had a play from scrimmage yet this season. And if he cannot crack the concept of playing in last night's game, there is no concept in which he plays.
Can't be trusted. Can't be trusted. Just simple as that. You cannot play running backs that put the ball on the ground. Can't have it. It's like the Singletary. Can't have it. Can't play with it. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it.
Can't win with it.
Can't win with it. Can't have it. Somebody said, did Larry show Collins some love? Oh, I love AC, man. I've interviewed him a few times. He's it's like he's like a jumbo kid. I mean, it's really crazy when I'm interviewing him. I'm like, God, this dude's a monster. But he's like, you start talking to him. He's like, it reminds me of my son. He's just like a youngster. He's a youngster, but he's got a great attitude, Damon. This guy wants to be really, really good. So does your guy, CJ West. I say your guy because Damon and CJ both went to Indiana.
You're basically the same guy.
So does Mikkel. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, they've got 3 young defensive linemen that really want to be good. And it's going to take some time. But they're all coming.
Here's
they're all
question,
coming.
Larry. Let me ask you this. Niners got 12 games left. Do you think they can go 6-6?
No doubt.
They're in the playoffs. Congratulations.
Yeah, but I mean, the 49ers, the Super Bowl is at Levi's. And you want to make sure, I mean, it was not an accident, and at least not in my opinion. It wasn't an accident that the last time the Niners got to the Super Bowl, they got there because the road to the Super Bowl came through Levi's. And if they, if the Niners are going to go to the Super Bowl, they got a much better chance of going to the Super Bowl by beating teams here at Santa Clara than going to wherever, Philly, LA, Green Bay, wherever you want, Tampa, wherever wherever your destination is. Winning it at home is going to, so all these games matter. All these games matter, and they're off to a 4-1 start. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what it looks like.
If they go 8-4 in their final 12, they're a 12-win team.
That's amazing.
That's
Not only that, some of those games look easier. I mean, some of them in Carter. The Colts
here's Mike.
Carter.
Yeah, the truth is, Niners only need to win 6 out of 12 to make the playoffs. Yeah, Mike, you're right.
But are you guys comfortable? Here's the question I would ask to the audience: Is the audience comfortable? Because I don't know where you guys are with Brock, but I would sit Brock and for not because of Mac, because Brock, you have so much invested in Brock, and he's obviously in a really bad situation on that toe. He played 1 game on the toe, and suddenly it was like major setback. He's going to be out for weeks. What if he had to play 2 or 3 games? He's probably out for the year, right? So I don't think he's got a year ahead of him that you can really bank on. I would say rest him and go find another quarterback to sit behind Mac Jones. What do you think, Damon? I mean, some people would say, hey, if you lose Mac Jones, your season's done anyway. Some people think, heck, if you lose your starting quarterback, your season's done. And that's true for some teams. But I just don't know that I would be comfortable going. I mean, I like Adrian Martinez as a prospect. He's athletic. I've been talking him up. He looked good in the UFL. He's playing well. But, I mean, that's a tall ask, man. That is a tall ask. I might want to see if I could find a veteran quarterback.
So here's the deal, Larry. Your next 4 weeks, you're playing out of your division, and you're playing in your conference 3 times. You are at Tampa Bay. You got the Sunday nighter at home against the Falcons. Then you're at Houston, then at the New York Giants.
Yeah,
that feels like 3-1. Could be 2-2. No problems there. If you can get Mac, here's the thing: if Mac is healthy enough to go and Brock isn't, you play the healthy quarterback. I mean, I just think it's that simple. And
but do you get another quarterback? Do you?
I think you have
for another quarterback.
Well, here's the thing: what is their conviction on Adrian Martinez? We're about to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I like Adrian Martinez. He's athletic, but if you ask me right now, tomorrow's the Super Bowl, and Mac Jones can't go, and Brock Purdy can't go, I'd rather start Tanner Mordecai, who's not even on the team, than Adrian Martinez. So I don't know. I don't know what they're, and as far as free agents, I mean, I'm looking at the list. It's CJ Beathard. You want CJ Beathard?
I mean,
you want to trade for a veteran quarterback?
Would you feel better about CJ Beathard than Adrian Martinez? Where's Carter Bradley, for goodness sakes? Why was he given a single fraction of valuable preseason time if he's to be totally unconsidered in this moment?
What if you get to a certain record and you look like a really good team, but Mac has injury problems?
Look, here's the thing: I don't think
Brock's not ready to return. Then what do? You're going to put your whole season on Adrian Martinez, or do you? Do you call the New York Giants and say send Russell Wilson over? Do you call Minnesota or somebody and say who isn't Kirk Cousins? No, where's Kirk Cousins? He's in Atlanta. Call Atlanta. Hey, Atlanta.
Let's just make it as impossible for Kyle to go to a press conference as humanly possible. Hey, Kyle, who do you prefer? Kirk Cousins, Brock Purdy, or Mac Jones? Like, I can't do it. We don't need
Kyle's sitting out the pressers.
Seriously. So let's not do that. Look, here's the thing. The 49ers are about to tell us what they really think of their own record, aren't they? How do they go about replacing Nick Bosa? If they're on the phone with the Cincinnati Bengals trying to trade for Trey Hendrickson, game fucking on. If they're not doing that, then they just think they're about to have like a good year, playoff year, but they're not really contenders. And
it depends what the price is more than anything.
I don't know if the Niners are ever going to be as good as the record says they might be this year, but in the vacuum of any one game, and last night just proves that, I think they can beat just about anybody. I mean, they got a puncher's chance in any game. Every team in the NFL's got a puncher's chance in any game.
They're a hard team to blow out.
They are. So my question is, if you think you got all it takes to be special, you will address your defensive end vacuum.
Oh, they're going to address. No, they're going to address it.
Well, but how are you going to address it?
If you trade for Kayvon Thibodeau, you've really addressed it. If you trade for Trey Hendrickson, you've incredibly addressed it.
Are you going to throw jabs or an uppercut?
I don't know. I don't. Some of the people that have speculated on the Trey Hendrickson thing, I mean, guys who know, guys who are in the know, you would think. Daniel Jeremiah saying a 3rd-round pick and a day 3 pick. I mean, that sounds like a draftnik guy who puts too much value in the draft picks. I mean, you're really going to get Trey. If you could get Trey Hendrickson for a 3rd and a 6th, you should have already made that trade.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Why he is older.
Awesome.
He is coming up on a massive contract. He's got no future in Cincinnati that he's being bought out of. It's not like the Bengals are going to fight hard to not trade him. They want rid of him, basically. They give him a contract that said, yeah, you got a handful of games left here and then you're out. So, yeah, I look at it this way. If the price is a 3rd, give a 2nd. and make sure you win that bidding war.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, well, you've used second-round picks on Dante Pettis for crying out loud. You've used second-round picks on Drake Jackson for crying out loud. Yeah. Yes, trade a second-round pick for Trey Hendrickson. Yes.
Right. You don't have enough of a track record with your draft picks to say we're going to do better than Trey Hendrickson with our pick next year. No, you're not.
Don't trade your one because your one's got to be the tackle. But yeah, if I could get Trey Hendrickson for a 2, I would absolutely do it. Was D. Winters hurt last night?
D. Winters did get hurt in that game last night. I think he returned, though.
I thought he did too. Somebody was asking in the chat if D. Winters what's his status. So we'll find out when Kyle speaks later today. Someone says trade for Shedeur. He's motivated. He wants to be there. Sign Aaron Rodgers.
You know what? So Shedeur is young enough to where if I'm the Browns, I'm not trading him. Joe Flacco could be on the market. Joe Flacco. There's a guy who can move. Someone says CJ Beathard in here. Should we hit some supers? Let's do it.
It's been a big super 24 hours, by the way.
Yeah, I set a record in supers last night. We did
last night too. Yeah, we did too. I think we had 151 or 149.
I had like 130 something supers. It wasn't one of my bigger audiences of the year too. I thought with it being a standalone Thursday night game, I was going to have my biggest viewing party ever. It was a medium-sized viewing party, but man, fans were throwing
out in abundance
like it was a strip club.
PWS Krug hit super
chat records last night.
Oh, super chat records last night. Yeah. I was like, what super chat records? This must be early in the morning. All right. Thank you for that one, PWS. Yes, we had 151, I think, last night. Unbelievable. Fuji Simeon, it was so dominating that it was basically at a certain point in the show. I'm like, we better get to this. Otherwise, we're not going to finish the show with reading them. Fuji Simeon, what was the percentage breakdown of 49er fans at SoFi? They said it was 61%. It felt like 70. Yeah, it felt like 3 out of 4 people there were Niner fans for sure.
Yeah, there was. And here's the thing: more than any other team color, red pops in the stands. Like you can't hide a jersey red anywhere, so it just stands out.
Skip Bayless was banging on the fans.
It's time for the 49ers to go back to the freaking red jerseys. I've seen 3 weeks in a row of white jerseys. I need some home jerseys. I know they're on the road next week, but Tampa Bay might wear white at home. Are they wearing red in Tampa?
I don't know, but yeah, I'm with you. I like the red. Bring back the red. The last night was incredible. I mean, I could watch that game on a loop. Jason 49ers 77. I was shaking and tears were in my eyes. I was way too emotionally invested for a week 5 game. LOL. Now that's a great line.
At least,
That's you're getting emotional and it's week 5. Honey, is this the Super Bowl? No, honey, it's actually tomorrow's week 6.
This is why this league captivates us all. This is why this league is king in America. Every little game is its own mini Super Bowl. It really is. Every little game is its own weensy, tiny, whiny little Super Bowl.
Hey, if you were that, heck, I saw Niner content creators saying, yeah, the Niners are unlikely to win this game. Don't quit on your team that quickly.
By the way, they were unlikely to win that game. Had the Niners been fully healthy, Kittle, Bosa,
but Damon,
that's one of their hardest games of the year. That's one of their hardest.
But I don't know if you got what I got, but I was getting messages like this. Hey, what they need to do is sit everybody until Tampa. And I'm like, what? No.
Right. Well, these are
like give up the game. Like don't even bother showing up. There were Niner fans who sent me tweets last week saying that the Niners should sit Trent Williams, Pooney, all their guys, just sit them all down and tuck tail for Tampa. It's like, dude, this is why
football's not really for everyone.
Yeah, do not think that you can't compete on that level. These guys they're gonna strap it up and go. And you know what? Last night was a great night for Kyle Shanahan. For those who want to say, Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, you ain't saying that this morning.
Look at it this way, Larry. The 49ers are the 3rd team in the last 20 seasons with 0 touchdown runs and 0 runs of 20 or more yards through 5 games. The other team was the 2023 Vikings, who finished 7-10, the 2016 Texans, who are 9-7. So Kyle is 4-1 with a historically bad rushing attack.
What do you think of this trade, Damon? Here's a trade that makes sense. Now, people may laugh, but take a team that has a veteran running back that is a free agent at the end of the year and trade that team Isaac Guerendo. Hey, Saints, here's Isaac Guerendo. Send us Kamara. Hey, whoever's a shitty team out there that has a good veteran running back that's probably doesn't have much of a future, we'll send you young, talented speedster Guerendo.
How about this?
And we'll throw in Jacob Cowing. You can have a young, speedy receiver and a young, speedy running back. Just give us your 30-something-year-old running back, and let's split it up a little bit, and let's get this run game going.
Isn't that
if the
what
49ers run the ball?
Jr. Wasn't Brian Robinson Jr. supposed to be that guy? Haven't they already?
Well, I know, but I mean,
trade?
I'm just saying, if you know, as much the Niners have, they need to run the ball. I mean, they need to. I mean, I don't care. I mean, the one thing that I'm taking out of last night's game is Mac Jones was freaking amazing, and they can't ask him to do that every week. I mean, he won't be able to do that every week. I can say that definitively. I think all of you guys understand that and agree with me. So the Niners have to evolve from this pass it 40 times a game team to a run the ball type team. So
Larry, I don't think it's
find a lineman, find a back, find whatever, but get your running game going somehow. Maybe when Kittle comes back, maybe that will be the thing that unlocks things, but they will not win jack crap with 2.2 a carry.
Kittle will be a little bit of a force multiplier to figuring out, or at least making the situation a little bit better. But I almost see it the other way, Larry. You're 5 weeks into this year. There really is no quick fix. Who the fuck is trading you a valuable player for Isaac Guerendo or Jacob Cowing? It ain't happening unless you're
saying if you've got a veteran player. I mean, veteran players get traded for 6-round picks.
Maybe. I mean, maybe, but it'd still be.
I mean, what did you get? Brian Robinson was Washington's starting running back.
Right.
And you got him for relatively nothing. Trades don't make sense in the NFL. All I'm saying is, find a team that has a veteran running back and see if you can make a deal. Maybe they don't want Guerendo. Maybe you got to trade a 5th-round pick, but you got to do something to get your running game unleashed. Whatever that is. You want to trade for a center? You want to bring somebody suggested, Bleacher Report, I think you suggested, Damon, that the Niners go after a David Njoku, another tight end. I'll let other smarter people decide exactly what piece they need, but they cannot pass the ball 40 times a week and have quarterbacks standing all year. Not behind this line, not behind probably any line.
I think they can. I think they're better at pass blocking than run blocking. It's time to go Mike Leach, Texas Tech, air raid.
But you just saw it. We're at week 5. Your starting quarterback is out. Your backup quarterback just got his butt kicked. This is not sustainable. They have to get the running game going somehow. Maybe that's adding a guard. Maybe that's making a change at center. Maybe that's adding a tight end. Maybe that's getting Kittle back. Maybe it's trading for a veteran
maybe
back.
It's Dominic Pooney playing better, and
I don't know. But they cannot. This won't continue. They will not play this whole year and go to the playoffs as a team that throws it 40 times a game.
But what I think they almost need to do, though, is say, all right, so this is who we are. This is what working, and here's not what working. Could we do better abandoning a running play that isn't producing and taking the 15 plays that were stopped behind the line of scrimmage and just turn those into pass plays, and we'll do better with those? You know, conceptually, the balance, of course you want it. And Shanahan has been a run-first football coach hiding in the disguise of quarterback whisperer his entire offensive career. He really is. You know, Shanahan wants to run the football more than anybody.
He wants balance.
He doesn't have it this year, though. And I don't think it's coming. I don't know if you can trade for it. I don't know if it's magically going to arrive. So you better play. You know, Shanahan needs to coach around his team shortcomings. And that might be in between the 30-yard lines running attack, which doesn't work like it used to. So guess what? We are throwing the ball 45 times a game, and that's who we are now. It's not who we wanted to be, but we can't wait around for perfect. We got to take pretty good when we got it. And the Niners...
I don't think it's going to work. I don't think that's going to work. You're not beating the Eagles. The Eagles are 11 for 11 in the red zone with 11 touchdowns.
Yeah,
you're not beating them having to run the ball from the one.
Do. This is what great offensive lines do.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You're going to have then improve your offensive line. But right. You're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to run the ball 40 times. You're not going to be able to throw the ball 40 times a game. Can Mac Jones continue to take the punishment that he took last night? No. And then are you going to win games with Adrian Martinez? Probably not. So Brock Purdy's already hurt. He's your most mobile quarterback. So it's like all your mobility at quarterback is kind of gone. It's all tied together. Your pass game failings are partly tied to your run game. Your O-line failings are partly tied to your run game. Christian McCaffrey's aging is obviously impacting things as well. Brian Robinson's newness in the offense could be impacting things. All I'm saying is whether they find another back, a fullback, an offensive lineman, they got to figure out a way to run the ball more effectively. They won't make it to the end if it's just Mac drop back and pass.
So first of all, I thought Mac popped his Achilles in this damn game, the way that he was laying on the ground, grabbing his calf, right? Didn't you think that he's done for the year?
Yeah, he had a cramp. Well, he had a bad cramp, which is why he was eating so many bananas, because he was looking for the potassium. Yeah.
Got to get that potassium in there. But look, what was that like quarterback sneak around tackle that was called last night? Like, is he? And I even said, is Kyle trying to get Mac Jones's ankle broken too? He's running him like a fullback. What are you doing? Like, the guy's got a hurt calf in this game, and you're running him QB sneak off tackle. Like, what the fuck was that?
Well, no. I think that was Mac on his own. I don't think that was a play. I think Mac just saw the vision there. He was run. That was Mac Jones' run to daylight.
There you go. You find that daylight, baby.
Against 23 says, hit on my 5-man parlay. Mac Jones is a dog.
There you go. Bet on sleeper.
Mike Ogre, season-changing dub. Now go get a defensive end and sit Jake Brendel. All right. We hear you. PWS, we're big brothers and walk in
touchdown,
crybaby. Touchdown, crybaby Kyron. Oh, yeah.
By the way,
Kyron talked so much trash last year. He called the Niners the little brothers. Oh, they're our little brothers. And
yeah.
Then let's just say this. The Niners won that game, but the Rams also lost that game. Blake Corum with a terrible fumble. That was a great play by Sam O to get pressure and Travis Gibson to fall on the ball. But then, Kyron Williams fumbles on the goal line on the doorstep.
He also had a drop on 3rd and 6 in a crucial late drive. And Fred Warner, by the way, was pointing like somebody blew an assignment. He was wide open. Was that on Fred? I don't know who blew that, but Kyron Williams dropped a 3rd and 6 that might have brought the Rams to the win last night. And that was a huge drop, huge moment.
How many drops did they have? They had to have at least 4 or 5 drops.
How about this? It felt like as many as the Niners had against Jacksonville.
Yeah. Barry Ford says, bang, bang for the banged up. Will we lose Mac next year after his contract expires? Is there any way we could keep him, or is it inevitable he leaves? He's got another year. He's got another year at $7 million. So they can keep him in 2026. Or he could demand out, or they could rip it up and draw him a contract.
Here's what I think Mac's got going. And this is the answer that he provided earlier, where he came across as such a professional. I think Mac Jones has been in enough bad situations that he's not going to look to escape or get out of a good situation just at the very first fish that's biting on his line to make him a starter again. I think Mac Jones is in an ideal situation that Sam Darnold was kind of in, except he actually got to show it in a way that Sam Darnold never really was able to show it.
I don't know, Damon. I hear what you're saying. I agree with you, and I would hope that you'd be right. But it's kind of like hoping that somebody's happy on your practice squad at $200,000 when the league minimum $750. It's like if somebody's going to give him a job at $750, he's going to take $750. And if somebody's going to give Brock or give Mac the starting job and pay him $20, You know what I mean? Or because that seems like the going rate. Why would he stay here for 7? I would say that the chances. I think what would be really interesting would be like, what if Mac has a good year for the Niners and he's already on this way, right? And let's say he says to them, "Hey, I know I'm under contract here for $7 million, but would you mind trading me somewhere so I could be the starter?" I wouldn't fault him for that, and I did, and I don't think they would fault him for that. Now, I agree with you though. I think that once you've been on top like Bama, and then you've tasted the dregs of the league, losing in New England and backing up in Jacksonville, I agree with you. I think he is not going to be in a rush to run somewhere else.
I mean, here's the thing.
$20 million has a way of changing people's minds.
It does, but passing on 20 million today could mean 30 million tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not linear. It's not.
And at the same time, guess what Mac Jones already is? A wealthy man. I mean, that's the thing. Maybe money's not his Jesus. Just getting some good football in is what matters the most to him. I don't know. I will say this. The Niners either have an outstanding second quarterback or they've got a wonderful trade piece. I mean, there's a million different things you can do with a really good backup quarterback. And I think that both
is that what he is?
I think both parties are interested in doing the right thing for both parties involved. Like, I don't think the Niners are going to fuck over Mac Jones, and I don't think he's going to try to put them over a barrel either. I think there's a good existence right now, and hopefully it stays that way.
It's a very, very interesting thing. Kev said it yesterday before the game. He said, if Mac Jones wins tonight and is impressive, it will kick off an unbelievable thing for content and an unbelievable thing for the Niners. And some people are already there this morning in that they want to say goodbye to Brock Purdy and they want to move on to Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
That seems knee-jerk.
Very much so.
And yet, I think we're naive if we, it's not like Mac Jones. It's not like Brock Purdy is Joe Montana. It's not like Brock Purdy's won 3 Super Bowls and is, unassailable. He's been a very good quarterback for the Niners. I think he's their franchise quarterback. He's played really well in big moments. But it's naive to think that he's got a lock on the job for no matter what. He's got a pretty good lock on the job. But what would Mac have to do where you would – I mean, this is a fair question, I think. Because for some people, Damon, it's clear. They're in the chat. It's already happened. Mac has already shown them that he's better than Brock in their minds. So everybody's got a different barometer. But for you, Damon, I would say that's premature. And I think you would say Larry, it's premature too. But let me ask you this, just theoretically. What Mac, let's just say Brock was out for the rest of the year. What would Mac need to do before you would say, you know what? I wasn't with the masses yelling, Mac's the guy, Brock's not the guy, but now I am. What would it take for Mac Jones to do before you would be in that you got to go with Mac?
Well, so obviously the standard in which all Niner anything is measured is, did you win a Super Bowl or not? But that's an unfair standard for the question that you just asked.
But that's a slam dunk in your mind, though. You're saying if
the guy wins the Super Bowl, guess what? He's sticking around.
Okay.
True.
I mean, it's interesting. That is interesting. It's almost like the Kaepernick, Alex Smith thing.
But I would say if Brock Purdy never played again this year, and with Mac Jones, the Niners really did secure a 1 seed, and he looked just as good, if not identical to Brock Purdy, there would be a ripple in the space-time continuum at that moment. But at this particular time, Larry, I think it's 3 games does not a usurper to the throne make. Okay, congratulations on 3 good games from Mac Jones. Let me yawn.
Ralph is looking down clapping right now, by the way. With that line. I said Ralph Barbieri is in heaven somewhere looking down clapping at that last line.
Oh, thank you, Larry. Usurper to the throne.
Vis-a-vis, ergo.
Pick one, Tommy. Pick one.
Okay, so thank you. I thought it was a well-turned phrase.
So what would it take? What would it take? You're saying
I don't think. Here's the thing. I think
playoff win.
Here's the thing. Brock Purdy has playoff wins.
I know.
He has got those pelts on the wall that Mac
got a
has
Super
never
Bowl
even
berth.
hunted for. He's
Right.
never even hunted in the same woods that Brock has brought trophies home from. So, you know,
Right.
like they're not the same yet. I think Brock's done enough to stay entrenched in the job. I don't think Mac has done enough to take the job from him. There's obviously a sliding scale and things can move around, but I don't see Kyle Shanahan looking at Brock Purdy and going like, yeah, dude, even though you saved my entire career, I'm deeming you expendable and it's over. And I've fallen in love with somebody else. Like, I just don't think that is about to happen. I don't.
I actually think it's going to take the ultimate. I think it's going to take I think it's going to take Brock being out for the year, Mac leading the Niners to and through the playoffs. If that happens and the Niners won the Super Bowl with Mac Jones at quarterback, then I could see the Niners saying, you know what, we need to go with Mac.
Look at it this way.
Anything short of that, I think it's Brock's job.
If Mac Jones wins the Super Bowl, you can take Brock Purdy, all of his Toyotas, pack him in a cannon with a John Deere and fire him into the sun. It won't matter. Okay.
Dean Martinez, Lucas told you what he was going to do in camp. He played well yesterday, man. He was like kamikaze on that play.
He's a shit talker. I like him.
PWS, love Mac Jones, but I'll take healthy Brock Purdy over Mac Jones. # rest Brock Purdy. Okay, there you go. It's just a discussion, folks. We're just having a discussion.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We're just Damon and I like to have entertaining conversations as opposed to just, Dom Pooney's PFF grade is 77 point.
It's interesting. How about this? There is a quarterback conversation, not a quarterback controversy. To say that there's a quarterback controversy installs a level of negativity, as in one guy is the wrong guy and the other guy is definitely the right guy. And this is that's not where the Niners are. The Niners have what is so far and away the single greatest quarterbacking problem a team can have. We can win with either guy. That's good. That's good. That's
no
fantastic.
doubt. Let's get through these because I've got another stream coming up at 10:45. That's 15 minutes away.
Yeah, I got got Sam Batesh joining me too at 11.
Jason Lutz. Let's just roll through these. Jason Lutz, better off season signing. Robert Saleh or Mac Jones? I'm going Mac Jones this morning, man.
Look at it this way: you ain't 4-1 without either of them.
Right, Rita Thomas, DB. You said last night. Is this Rita from 95.7 who calls in sometimes? Is that
it? Might be.
Rita says, DB. You said last night Mac should have played last week. The team would be 5-0. Got to wait for Ronnie Lott's reports on the 49er IR list. Okay. We got this one.
If Mac had played last week, they might be 5-0, and Brock wouldn't be hurt.
Wow. Brian H. Last night was prime Jimmy G era. Kyle calling a short ADT game. Mac executing on a high level. Defense holding it down. Mac is a better Jimmy G. You know what? I think that's what Kyle was seeking when he wanted Mac originally, was a better Jimmy G. Think about it. He had Jimmy. He was looking for a guy who could process and get the ball out on time with accuracy and not lose games. And that's what he thought Mac could do. And look, here we are. It's 2025 years later, but Mac is proving Kyle right.
And then all of a sudden he was talked into a guy from the bottom rung of college football competition who hardly threw a football. That is one of the weirdest decisions.
And I'll fully admit, I was one of those people saying draft Trey Lance. So I'm a fucking idiot. Fuji Simeon. Florio complains about 49er fans takeover of SoFi. Sorry, Larry, I was wrong. Florio doesn't complain like an SI Wildcat. That is mean. That is mean of me. He complains like he went to Lick Wilmerding or Stewart Hall. By the way, I went to Stewart Hall, so don't. I went to Stewart Hall Grammar School, so don't.
Why is Florio complaining about Niners fans there?
Who knows? Who cares?
Why would Florio care about the makeup of a crowd at a football game?
Who knows? But Florio is definitely anti-Niners and anti-Super Bowl in San Francisco. Brett says Kyle isn't using
I'm
Robinson
anti-Super Bowl
until
in San
CMC is
Francisco.
on the IR. God, yeah, seriously, it almost seems like Brian Robinson will not get real run until CMC's dead. PWS, everyone loves the suit. Don't hate Krug, LOL. If you love that suit, come on, bro. I mean, that suit was awful.
Mac Jones, his suit looked like it was brought to you by Cherry Coke.
Yeah, exactly. I love Mac Jones, and yet I can still say that suit is awful.
Was he going to a blood funeral at the end of that game in LA? Did he have to attend a gang funeral?
Was he? Is it possible that he was? He's an extra in the next Batman movie or something. I don't know. That's what it looked like to me. Lyrics Media 1. Mac has a better arm than Brock and processes quicker. Uncomfortable truth. I don't think he processes quicker.
Maybe the arm, maybe. I don't think the processor is an uncomfortable
they both
truth.
process really well.
They're both
2, even more pissed at the Niners for wasting a 3rd-round pick on Moody after seeing Pinheiro, who was just chilling at home. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, seriously. I mean, nobody talks much about that, but I mean, think about that for a second. This guy, your kicker, we're sitting here pulling our freaking hair out over Jake Moody, and, Eddie Pinheiro is watching Sports Center on the couch.
I'll look at it this way. I'm not going to ask anyone to sign a pledge of loyalty or anything like that, but I do want it in writing that you will never take a kicker again in the draft. Seriously. I want that in writing, Kyle.
I know, seriously. I want that. That's part of your contract extension. PWS, Sanders knows anything he says will be reworded. Hashtag something.
Oh, he's talking about Shador.
Shador. No, I know. But nothing. It's the height of immaturity to pretend like you're talking and not talk. Come on. Once again, you're not just auditioning to be a quarterback. In the NFL, you're auditioning to be the face of a multi-million-dollar, franchise and ticket buying and all that. It means so much more.
Right.
There's a layer of accountability there.
He's not playing any 3-dimensional chess right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not a good call on his part. It's like winning the battle but losing the war. Zachary Kelway, Brock Purdy's biggest fan so far, but he needs to run in the red zone or something. Mac's height and arm strength made the red zone offense great again. Okay.
How about
Fuji Simeon?
How about Tongas?
Oh, Tongas look good. Fuji Simeon. I have to ask about Garendo. Does he keep his spot? Not if I'm in charge.
No.
I mean, come on, man. Trade him. Blood Moon. I mean, trade him to a second division team where he can get what he needs, which is some run in kind of a low pressure environment. He needs reps in a low pressure environment. The Niners need a veteran back they can lean on who can do a bunch of things. Not Garendo. Garendo is absolutely cannot be trusted with anything. Blood Moon says we will dink dunk play. Will dink dunk play win us a Super Bowl? Will pass plays under 10 yards win us a Super Bowl against a top 5 defense? Our D will not hold all year.
I mean, here's
everyone healthy. I think Blood Moon is hitting on some things there, though, that are accurate. I think you do need to stretch the field a little bit more. I think it's not that Mac Jones can't. It's that right now he doesn't have the receivers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't think you look at last night's game plan and say this is now the new philosophy through which all wins will be found through. You're playing under circumstances that means we don't have guys running 20-yard go patterns. You got backups everywhere.
Michael says Jones to Bourne was unstoppable last night. Rakib says, gentlemen, I respect your broadcast thing and football knowledge, so stick with that. Leave the style commentary to others.
Deal.
What style? I mean, about the suits?
Oh, yeah.
How about this? How about Rakib? How about this, Rakib? Fuck off. We'll do what we want. Ryan, no rushing touchdowns, no interceptions, still stealing wins. Did Jen, the Rams should have signed Mac Jones to eventually replace Stafford before the year. Vikings also about to give us a ransom for Jones after the year. Gary Schetzel, maybe Adam Peters wanted Lance. Now that he's gone, we've had our 2 best drafts. He had a layup of picks in Jaden and a bunch of lame picks. Love y'all.
Maybe Adam Peters was more involved.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe it was.
Maybe that was a big
look at it
key.
this way, if I were Kyle, that's what I would sell you.
Right. Damn that Peters. Could you imagine? They just threw Peters under the bus for every bad pick. Well, once we got rid of Peters, things took off. Thomas Selman, Purdy can rest and go on a run in the second half. Yeah, Exactly. Get some rest. Get that thing quieted down. Steve Sheridan, something special is brewing. Keeping the faith. Fuji Simeon, LOL. Inquire with the Rams about Jimmy G. Ha, joking. Yeah, could you imagine Jimmy G back here? Brandon,
by the way, I would rather it be Jimmy Garoppolo than Adrian Martinez. What do you?
I don't want to bash Adrian Martinez because I do like Adrian Martinez, but I'm a little nervous about how he may play, so I'm kind of with Damon on that. Brandon Green, I know this isn't Jeff Hostetler.
Wait, Larry, can you imagine if a week from now the 49ers quarterback room is Brock Purdy, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, and Mac Jones?
Just be amazing. Then immediately Netflix should start their season 3 of quarterbacks and just start it in the Niner room.
Look at it this way. If
amazing.
That actually happens, Larry and I will start a live stream and we will go through the Super Bowl. We will not start the live stream. We will go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to the Super Bowl if all 4 of those guys are signed by the Niners.
Seriously. We'll be brought to you by Pig in a Pickle. And on that note, by the way, the Krug Show and all these supers is brought to you by our good friends at Habbas Law. And thanks to Habbas Law for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. We appreciate them. 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. They're great attorneys. And they've been sponsoring the Krug Show this year, and we're big fans of Habbas Law. My dad was an attorney. My brother's an attorney. My sister's an attorney. I got an entire family of attorneys, and my dad always said the difference between success and failure is having a good attorney and the right attorney. And Habbas Law, they absolutely are the right attorney. So you need someone in your corner, call the firm, the insurance companies. Hope you never call Habbas Law. They will fight to make it right. Visit habbaslaw.com on the web. HABBAS law.com on
every
the web.
Man,
1-800
every man should have a good lawyer, a good doctor, a good barber, and a good butcher.
There you go, in that order. Wait a second. Okay, did we get that? Okay, we got that one. We got this one. I think did we get this one? I know this isn't Jeff Hostetler, Kurt Warner situation, but this might be Bledsoe Brady. So ride the hot hand. Eric Pierce, our guards cannot run block. 2nd and 1 equals 3rd and 2. Oh, I know. It's awful.
It is. Yeah, it's happening.
Just getting destroyed up front. Fuji Simeon, Larry, why was Skip Bayless mad at 49er fans? I don't know.
Why is Skip Bayless mad at anything? He needs to just go away.
Yeah, Skip, count your cash. Christopher Shin, we need to discuss whether Jones will go in Tampa Bay. I mean, we're going to find out his health situation, but absolutely he's going in against Tampa Bay. If he's healthy.
Larry, imagine you had made, at this point in your career, $20 million. I
wouldn't be here right now.
You're approaching 70. Do you think you would care about mattering in sports anymore? Would you just walk away with some dignity and a nice cigar in your hand? I mean, what the fuck are you doing?
First of all, I do plan on making millions. And when I do make those millions, I will buy a condo on the Big Island at the Westin Hapuna Beach. And I will sit there and be, playing cards with Willie Nelson and Don Nelson and hanging out.
I'm just looking forward to the tan lines, Larry.
Fuji says, are Colby and Pooney hurt or playing through injury? They're playing through injury. Joseph Ernberg, 3 good games doesn't make you a starter. Brock Purdy for life.
Joseph Ernberg, Brock Purdy for life.
Ernberg.
I love that he's been decidedly against him until he needs him the most. Then he's a Brock fan.
Now he's a Brock fan. David Young. What's he giving us here?
It's euros, Larry. We got paid in euros.
What's the exchange rate right now, Damon? Am I making more than $5 or less than $5?
It's kind of like 1-to-1. Let me see what the
what is the euro exchange rate? I need to know before I read David's comment. I need to know exactly what we're getting out of this transaction.
Hey, dude, excuse me, Larry. We would rather be paid in euros than US dollars. 5 euros equals $5.87.
Look at that. Look at that. David Young. He says 3 hours sleep. Game finished at 5 a.m. Belfast time. Up at 8 a.m. for work. Dog tired today. But a dub's a dub. Love you guys.
Thank you, David.
Love you. What is that? P.S. guys. Co is short for county. Love from Antrim.
County Antrim.
There you go. That's David Young, everybody. Throwing us an extra 87 cents.
87-cent David Young.
Woo!
Thank you, David.
That ain't a 5 spot. That's 587, baby. All right, Maitland. Maitland said Purdy's not the guy. too indecisive, holds onto the ball too long, too short to step up into the pocket to avoid pressure, and turns the ball over too much. Mac has proved himself.
Well, he's been on a
There you
turnover
go.
streak lately that he needs to get out of. It's been a
There
bad
you
habit, but
fans.
Here we go.
Alien Dijin. Goff is the last elite non-mobile quarterback. Brock's mobility is the X factor. That's key. Mac 10 can't move like Brock.
I mean, I wouldn't say, Matthew Stafford is known for his mobility. He's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, look at it this way. They won the Super Bowl, but who would you rather have as your quarterback, Stafford or Goff?
Stafford.
Okay. I mean, he did win.
I mean, I'd rather have Stafford, but I mean, I like Goff. I mean,
I
don't
like
get me
Goff
wrong.
too. That's the thing. I think Goff is pretty damn good, and he's got a level of production that's been tucked away in Detroit. That if it were happening, in an NFL market that got more attention to it, I mean, Jared Goff would be one of the most popular players in the world.
Jake says Mac 2.4 second average time to throw, fourth best this year. Purdy 2.68. Mac fits the team better right now, considering how weak our line is. Purdy, I think, is holding the ball because he's running and he's creating more time with his legs. But yeah, no, I hear you. Neither guy is operating behind a great line right now.
0.3 of a second doesn't sound like an awful lot, but it is back there.
Yeah, seriously. Fuji Simeon, does Roger Craig make the Hall of Fame this go around? I will say no, but I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping
he deserves to be in there. But look at it this way: there's too many people.
He definitely does.
There are too many people whose voices matter who've been making the argument that he needs to be in there for too long without it mattering. So I just think Roger's screwed.
Yeah, Roger unfortunately lost out because Walsh died. Because Walsh carried weight. Bill Walsh his opinions carried weight. And if Bill Walsh had lived longer, he would have spent a lot of those years campaigning for Roger. And if Walsh had campaigned for Roger would be in. So I think is really what's going on there.
I think they might be holding the talent around him against him a little bit.
Definitely. And not only that, I mean, it's, in reality, anybody who knew the personalities of the Niners of the 80s knew that Jerry needed the ball. In fact, I got to go. SF Niners love BP. Do you think if we drafted Mac, we win the Super Bowl? I'm not sure. Fuji says Larry Skip would have made a perfect SI Wildcat.
Oh, boy.
We got this one. Larry, it's all about Maui.
You're both wrong. It's Kauai. It's Kauai. It's Hawaii is Kauai, or you might as well be in Fresno.
Oh, my God. I'd much rather be on the Big Island at Westin Napuna Beach than either Kauai or Maui. I did love Maui pre-fires, but the Big Island does Maui. None of the beaches, and I stayed at the Ritz, and we went to Kaanapali. Those beaches don't touch the Westin Napuna Beach on the Big Island. But I hear you. The Big Island is a lot of volcanic rock, and there's only certain parts of the island. Maui, I think overall probably is a little bit nicer, and Kauai is incredibly lush. And anyway, on that note, let's bolt for the door. That's going to do it for us. Thanks to Damon. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to all of you. Appreciate every single one of you. Damon, tell people what you got cooking the rest of the day.
Well, I got Sam Batesh at 11 o'clock. We're going to be going over what happened last night, taking a look at what is going to unfold this weekend around the world of football. Plus, please join us Saturday, 4:20. We're going to be at the Dubliner West Portal. Larry, I don't know if you and Kevin got plans tomorrow. If you can come on.
We're thinking about, we're going to see. We might be able to come, but we're also debating going to Cal, North Carolina, or Cal Duke tomorrow night.
It's Cal Duke tomorrow night.
Cal Duke. So that's a 7:30 start, but maybe we'll do is we'll pre-party there. So I'll definitely text you later on today and let you know what
it'd be great to come on through. I know Ike is going to deliver a whole bunch of sandwiches. We're going to be hanging out at the Dubliner. It's going to be a really good time. So hopefully a lot of people plan on coming through. Larry, thank you. If you're a Niner fan, your glass better be half full today. It was a pretty good Thursday night, no doubt about it. Cheers.
Kendrick Bourne. Sorry, bro.